Hello, everyone. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward for a wonderful mountain climb and for a good time to sit down on the top of the mountain and observe the Bay Area. You know, sometimes when I touch people and I want a part of them to heal, I close my eyes and I visualize the wonderful lake that I can see from the top of Mount Tamalpais, the wonderful greenery, the wonderful ocean. It's just so wonderful and exciting. When I started my work and had a huge resistance from teachers, friends, family members, I was trained for life because the resistance never stops. In fact, I even experience it today with uh, someone who wants me to acknowledge them, but doesn't actually acknowledge what I do. And so there is the medical profession that gave up on stopping me because they couldn't. There are people who think in a straight way that couldn't really stop me yet. And yet, some part of me is always afraid that the world will not understand the message that I bring. That message was formed on the beaches of Tel Aviv with many people who were 3 or 4 times older than myself, sometimes 5 times older than me, exercising, improving their body, improving their posture, and always swimming in the sea. Except they did it summer, spring, and autumn, and I did it also in the winter. I enjoyed the rain as it fell on my body. I enjoyed the coolness of the sea. And I had no idea in that time that I will experience the real freezing ocean in San Francisco. Because the winter sea in Tel Aviv, as cold as it feels, doesn't feel like the cold ocean here. And I'm so happy that for years I was able to bathe in this ocean. Lately, I had an experience of walking in the ocean, and as I was walking, all of a sudden I found myself in a pool. And it was pretty cold to take 10 minutes to get out of the ocean, but it was invigorating and wonderful. By the way, just before my daughter's wedding, that was a happy event that I was so happy to be in. So, as I was working on so many people with so many struggles to get better, I got to the conclusion that we have to sense our body. And that's what happened to me on the beach of Tel Aviv. I had no idea what I was doing. I was almost asleep as I was moving my body in so many different ways. The result, of course, was that I was able to sit with lotus and then stand on my head with lotus, put my legs behind my shoulders. But I had no idea what I did for a while, which was simple movements that expanded my capacity to move. And that's what we all should do in our teen and 20s. So the rest of the life, when you nature and life forces you to be a bit more rigid because you have to sit a lot, like in airplanes, you already built a real good foundation. So when I came to San Francisco and learned that I can teach classes, I started to define the fact that we have more than 600 muscles and most of us use between 50 and 70 of them. We have to learn how to use muscles we never used before, and there are quite a few of them. Movements we've never done before, and then integrate them with the muscles we always used. But at the same time, we have to learn how to loosen up our muscles and our connective tissue. And that's what I'm doing on a daily basis. Almost every day, I go downstairs in my house to my meditation room, and my original meditation is feeling my body and responding to its need to move, learning to use muscles that I've never used before, and learning what is the next step for my body. It is 70, it is not 18 or 17. It does not move as well as it could move then, but it can always move better and it can always make the next step. And when I wrote my book, Vision for Life, I went through experience of helping people who were supposed to be blind to see, experience of helping people who had nearsightedness to see and read without glasses. And so I brought myself those principles of never straining to see, never trying to see. And I work today with two wonderful people, and they were looking through red and green glasses and started to separate between their eyes so they will start to work independently and together. Learn more about the stress of life, the mental stress of life, the physical stress of life, and they left this place feeling light and happy and moving much better and seeing much better. So the principles is first of all not to strain, then to nurture the eyes, then to adjust to light of the day, like adjusting to the sunlight and adjusting to the dark of the night, being able to walk in a very dark place and also darkening the room when we're asleep. And then the next principle is looking at details, something I had to learn and still have to learn on a daily basis. My daughter really got it well. Without natural lens, because she was born with cataracts and her lens was taken away when she was an infant, she learned to look at smaller and smaller details, and doing that made her see normally. And my son taught me how I started to look because he looked at checkered squares. That's really what interested him after his cataract was removed. And I learned to look at windows and air conditioners at the age of 17 when I started to look. But unlike them, I need to study more and more how to look, as their vision is 100% and mine is nearly 70. But it used to be 1%. And then we have to learn to use our periphery in so many ways. And we have to learn then to create balanced use of the eyes. Not necessarily balanced vision, but balanced use. So one eye will not be overwhelmed with overwork and the other eye degenerate. And then we learn how to use each eye in a balanced way, for we often use parts of an eye much more than the other parts. Then we learn how to integrate all those principles together and to create a connection between the body and the eyes. And then we learn how to increase the blood flow to the head. And that goes back to the original work. You can go to as many osteopath, chiropractors, orthopedists as you want. But what you need to do first is to create balance between the muscles in your body so the blood vessels will not be tightened and squeezed by tight muscles. Because when you only work 50 out of 600 muscles, you overload them and they become tight and spastic on a regular basis. That's why we call my work not massage, even though I have a massage certificate and recognized by the state. That's why we call our work body work. We combine between movement and semi massage, where we create more movement in the cells of the bones, cells of the muscles, and nerve cells. I'm very optimistic about people's ability to improve. Not everyone wants to do it, but those who do always find a way. Like the wonderful person that I work with right now, who broke her hip joint, lied for 2.5 months unable to move, slowly learned to move, and it was through some pain, and then excelled, moved out of her bed, and now can walk blocks upon blocks at a time. And the walking is only getting better. This is what's so important for us. We can always do better, and we should never challenge ourselves only work on getting better. Many blessings to all of you, and I wish you all happy life. Meir, your friend.